So these are the Beats Solo 4, which retail for about $200. And I feel like everyone forgot that Beats already has their Beats Studio Pros, which came out last year, that if you get them on sale is just about the same price as the Beats Solo 4, except you get a lot more for your buck with the Studio Pros. So let's take a look at the features between the two. Let's do a comparison and let's see which one's going to be better for your wallet and which one's going to be better for your ears. So let's talk about the biggest differences between the Solo 4s and the Studio Pros from Beats, is that the Solo 4s are on-ear, they don't come with any active noise cancellation, which means you have no transparency mode, and these are not using the H1 chip from Apple. They are going to be using the new Beats chip that is going to be better, I guess, better pairing for Android and Apple devices. Now the good news is that these can be used just by connecting the 3.5mm jack to your PC, your laptop, or other audio device, and you don't have to have power in order for you to have a lossless connection. So all you need is going to be that cable. But something that people are going to miss out on is that both of these are using the 40mm drivers. However, they've been tuned differently depending on which device you're using. Second, neither one of these are going to be having the ability to use an EQ, something you get on a $30, $40 pair of Sony 520s. You do not get them on these $150, $200 Beats. Now let's talk about the biggest issue that faces all of the Beats Studio Pros and the Solo 4s, just like your Solo 3s, which is ultimately going to be the fit. If you can't wear these for long extended periods of time, well, they're not going to be very useful to you if you like to listen to music or podcasts. You're going to get uncomfortable. If these make your ears hot, well, that's not going to be great because you want to wear them for long periods of time. And the problem here is that the Beats, they do apply a lot of pressure, unnecessary pressure, because of this band. You see the curvature of this band? This band is unforgiving for larger heads. So if you wear a big hat, this is not going to be that comfortable for you. And neither of these are going to have ear detection sensors. So let me show you what the difference is in terms of the fit. I'm going to put on the Studio Pros. Here is what they look like, straight up. Now I wear a 7.5 hat, and I can already feel that there's a little bit of pressure on my ears. Regardless, I can wear these for about 90 minutes to 2 hours. The big difference is that if you look at my ears, you can't see them. So these are over ears. These are going to cup your ears, and that gives you better passive sealing. Now, if you take these off and then you're like, okay, well, how does it compare to the Solo 4s? The Solo 4s, on the other hand, they're going to be on ear. But some people might prefer the Solo 4s based on their head shape or their ear positioning, and just that they are a little bit lighter than what you get on your Studio Pros. So this is where you're going to have to try it for yourself and see where the fit is going to be better. So I have the Solo 4s on, and these are the Beats Studio Pros. So let's just talk about some of the advantages of the Pros. First, it's coming with the Apple H1 chip. So you're going to have all of these features that you're used to when you have a device like your AirPods: automatic switching, announced notifications, and headphone accommodations. These are some things that a lot of us who are using Apple iPhones, we don't want to sacrifice those features because it just makes using your headphone a lot easier. If you're an Android user, I do find that I don't feel a real difference between the overall connection between the previous Beats Studio Pros and the Solo 4s. The other thing about the Pros is that they have better build quality. If you look at the band here and you're comparing it to the Solo 4s, remember, this band is heavier, it's going to have more metal, the overall build quality is going to feel more sturdy, and there's less shaking. If you touch your Solo Pros, there's a little bit of squeeze in there so that the drivers can really breathe and give you better low-end frequency performance. But I find that affects the overall build quality because this feels a little bit more flimsy than what you would get on your Beats Studio Pros. So we've reviewed almost every popular headphone and earbud over these years, and I could tell you Apple's transparency mode is some of the best, if not the best, in the business. And that transferred a lot to Beats. So Beats had a really good transparency mode, especially if you look at the Studio Pros relative to its competition, but you do not have that on your Solo 4s because this comes with no ANC. Other cool features of your Studio Pros is that you can unfold and fold to power them on and off. So if I do that, and you're listening to music, that's going to power them off. Something you do not have on your Solo 4s. So both the Studio Pros and the Solo 4s are charged using USB-C, and they are going to be able to be connected to a 3.5mm cable. The difference comes down to overall battery life, because since these do not require and do not have active noise cancellation, you're going to get about 50 hours of battery life. And if you use the quick charging, with about 10 minutes, you're going to be able to get 5 hours of battery life. Here, in 10 minutes, you're going to get 4 hours of battery life. And overall battery life without active noise cancellation on your Studio Pros is going to be 40 hours. So the Solo 4s are using the custom Beats chip, and that is different from the H1 chip. They also come with dynamic head tracking, and they have spatial audio. So spatial audio is really done well by Apple, but it is still, to me, a little gimmicky because you have a computer or an algo trying to make the sound fuller to you. Both Studio Pro and Solo 4 are going to be coming with the same carrier bag, and you're going to be able to put them easily inside the same bag. How do I know? Well, these are the Solo 4s. I'm going to put this in the Studio Pro bag that I have here. I'm going to fold it, fold, pop in, and that's it. So easy to put these Solo 4s away. We're going to try the same exercise with our Studio Pros. So Studio Pros, fold, take this, pop it in, fold, and done. So then if I asked you which one of these is going to have the Solo 4 and which one of them is going to be the Studio Pros, you won't know because they have the same case. And if you're trying to figure it out by the weight, it's going to be a difference of about 40 to 50 grams because the Solo 4s are going to weigh 217 grams while the Studio Pros weigh 260 grams. If you're looking at the overall controls, both will have big buttons on the left side of the headphone, and they have the charging port as well as the power button on the opposite side. So you got to keep that in mind. Very similar in terms of overall design, and very similar even in terms of looks. If you want to talk about call quality between both of them, well, the Solo 4 and the Studio Pros use beamforming digital MEMS microphones that have the same noise reduction algo from Apple. So if you're on the calls, there's not going to be a big difference between the quality. It's just based on the microphone positioning. If you are getting better pickup on your Studio Pros, you're probably going to have the microphone better positioned to your mouth. I'm going to play a song here on max volume. This is on max. This is the headphones, this is the microphone, you'll hear it. So this is on the Beats here. Same song. The Studio Pros, the bass is bigger. It's boomier than what you get on the Solo 4s. The soundstage is larger. The Studio Pros is going to have a clearer sound with less distortion. The sound is going to be brighter out of the box, and to me, the dynamic range is better on the Studio Pros. So I would say the sound is just better on these Studio Pros than the Solo 4s to me. And I thought the volume would be similar, but actually, because these are over-ear, you can get the volume really loud on them. Ultimately, I definitely recommend getting the Beats Studio Pros over the Solo 4s until the Solo 4s drops dramatically in price, because you get so much more for your money with the Studio Pros. You're going to get better sound quality, you get the active noise cancellation, you get that H1 chip, which is not something to scoff at if you use an iPhone. An iPhone user, H1 chip is definitely a big benefit because you can do so much more synchronization and it's automatic. You don't have to think about it. Apple already fixed it for you. And if you look at on-ear headphones, there is a pair of on-ear headphones that to me have better sound quality than the Beats. They're going to be considerably less expensive at just about $40 on sale, and that is going to be on the Sony WH-CH520s. Definitely not the same build quality. The Sonys are made out of plastic. The band here is not going to be as plush, but when you put these on, because they're so light, they are so comfortable. So let me show you. I put these on, They're so light, the curvature doesn't place any unnecessary pressure on your head. You can wear these for hours at a time, and they do a great job enveloping your ear. I actually think it does a better job enveloping your ear and keeping them cool over the Beats. So in terms of sound quality, I think the Sonys and the Beats are very comparable. The Sonys are not going to have the same low-end punch as the Beats, but the Sonys are going to be very accurate. They sound very natural, and honestly speaking, they sound like a $100 pair of headphones, not a $50 pair of headphones. Combine that with the lightweight, the comfort, and even though you might say, well, it's plastic, it's not great quality, Sony knows what they're doing. They've been making headphones like these for decades. So I've been having these for a year, and I still use them, I still beat them up, and they look pretty new, even though they've been a long time, and they come with easier controls. You have buttons here that you can just touch, just like on a Bose Quiet Comfort headphone, that you can always find because it's hard to see when big cups are on top of your ears. And because the Sonys allow you to adjust the EQ inside of the Sony Music app, you can make your Sonys sound like your Beats Solo 4s for considerably less money. And that's the power of some customization EQ. That's the power of just getting the right headphone that you find is going to be the perfect value. Because when you're looking at the audio equipment, unless you want to go higher end, at this price point, I think value is the key. So I love the Sonys. I think the Solo 4s under 100, that's where I would say recommend these. Over 100, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait because as long as these Studio Pros exist and I can score these for $150, $170, it's definitely you want to get the Studio Pros as long as they're comfortable on your head. With that, guys, thanks for watching. This is David with the French Glow, showcasing to you our headphone from Beats. Please hit that like and subscribe button below. It really does help support our channel. And please, if you have any questions or you want to give me feedback or tell me I'm crazy, do that in the comment section. I will get back to you. And I'll catch you next time. This is David with the French Glow signing off. Bye, bye, bye.